All right, and hello and welcome to where I do another art thing and just ramble, I guess, kind of. So, with this one, you can kind of see that there was already a sketch on this canvas, but I decided to ditch that idea because the sketch just wasn't turning out right. I just really did not like it, and I have currently been binging some old cycles of America's Next Top Model thanks to Brandon Mondo. I have been watching all of his videos reacting to like their old hair transformations because that was always my favorite videos from the seasons. I don't know why, I just like to see how much like someone's haircut could really change how they look. So I've been binging all the old seasons because there's some like YouTube channels that are just like posting whole seasons in like one video. So I just have them playing on the background as I do most of my drawings now. I mean, it's nice. But anyways, so I came across this one challenge, wow, words are hard, where they were doing like these harsh lighting. So like there are all these shapes and everything, and it just kind of like popped this idea in my head to where it was kind of like someone peeking out of the shade to where, but in black and white. So I kind of wanted to make this a little bit of a, I guess you could say, a two color challenge here. So I'm just using my basics black and white. I am almost out. I need to get some more because this is my only good white I have. I have so many bottles of white paint, but this is the only one that's opaque right now. It's so frustrating. And this black isn't even opaque. It took me so many layers to finally get the background completely black because I didn't really want to mix it with the blue like I usually do or with another color because that will sometimes help, and I really didn't want to make it gray because I wanted it to be a completely like contrasting figure, because this art style and like the harsh lighting really actually reminds me of my dad's old paintings. I mean, he's not a well-known artist or anything, he actually works with computers now, but when he was younger, he used to paint, and it was all very much harsh lines, harsh lighting, black and white, very monochromatic type of palette to portray like a portrait or something. And it always just like fascinated me how so much can be said with just like shapes, and not even like an abstract way. Like you could still fully look at the painting and understand it. Like abstract, I love it in its own, and my brain doesn't really work like that. I wish it could, because I think some of them are really freaking dope, and just my brain thinks too much in shapes and figures to be able to just go completely ham. The best I've been able to do, I guess, abstract wise, is like with my little tape experiments. I really love the way those turn out. I think they're really cool. But yeah, so I'm leaving a bit of cheek space over in my sketch area there so I can do some soft shading in, so it's not all hard shadows. So the way, if you really want to make a thing pop from your piece of paper, you want to do a mixture of harsh and soft shadows. So you want to have some harsh lines of black against some bright white, but then you also want to have your gradients coming in. So yeah, so here's about probably like 4 hours later before that first one, and I'm finally doing like my 5th layer of black. I really need to find one that is just a one coat black. I need to become simply nailogical when it comes to paint. I need a one coat black, and that's all that's gonna suit me, because this is really one of my pet peeves, because finding an opaque white for some reason in paints seems to be super easy for me. At least like basics has a good white. Maybe I just have a really old bottle of this black and that's why it's so translucent, but it just was really bothering me. And as soon as I mix it, as you can see here, to like make my gray to start doing the soft shadows, making it a gradient in, that was super opaque and I had no issues covering the lines from my pencil markings and everything, but that black's gonna kill me, I swear. If anyone has any good brands that aren't gonna like completely break the bank, then shoot them my way, because I would love to know. I'm having a hard time finding a decent black paint, or at least acrylic paint. Oh yeah, I should probably say that I'm using acrylics in this painting. So my painting style isn't going to fit everyone's. So I'm not really saying this is a tutorial on how to do this, because I like to paint with acrylics like how you paint with oils. I'm a very impatient person and I just like to get the blending done and move along and be able to add on top of it when it's dry 5 minutes later. So I like to put down my shadows, as you can see here, as I'm working on the nose. Oh, sorry, my iPad keeps going off. I have no idea where it's at. It's hidden. But I put down the shadows on the nose and I just keep going through it, kind of doing like a shadow study almost, not really going into the nostril yet. And then I bring my white back. I don't really mix it with another gray because I don't want to make it darker. I don't want to completely lose my shape. So why you can kind of see it didn't really work because my paint was already dry because acrylics. But I'm trying to get a nice decent blend, so I have to come back in with some more gray to actually get that nice blend, which I really like the way this accomplishes it, but I know it's not for everyone. It's a very fast-paced, moving type of painting style, but it's my favorite type to do. It's kind of one of the most easiest for me personally, because I like to look at images in more of a block by block section and kind of seeing the shapes that these shadows are making, and then making that shape on the canvas and then making the next one next to it. That's how I like to especially break down portraits, because you can very much tell like the different shapes that break down a face sometimes, especially if you've done your research and know the different dimensions between everything, or what the dimensions quote unquote should be, because not everyone's the perfect ratio. And here's the only moment I really got lost. I don't know what that little triangle is supposed to be. I guess her collarbone, but no one's collarbone is shaped like that. And no shame in finger painting, especially if you mess up a little finger painting can sometimes really help you out and get a nice crisp line. So the lips are always my favorite to do because I like to dry brush them. I think it's really fun. Get your head out of here. Okay. So I go in with the darker shade, and you really have to look back and forth with like reference photos on like the type of lips you're trying to do to be able to get the shadows quite right, because everyone's lips are different, so they're going to catch the light differently. But typically your upper lip is going to be darker, so that's kind of one of your best tips for doing lips. It's going to make it look a little bit more realistic if you get that upper lip a little darker, just depending on the way it's facing the light, because it's generally facing away from the light, it's facing down, so it's never going to really have too many bright lines on it. As you see, I'm putting in the blacks, finishing the little gaps in the nostril and the mouth, and I really feel like that's like one of those moments that just brings your painting together. Adding my final little highlights on the lips. As I said, I try not to add too many to the upper lip, but the bottom lip is generally really highlighted because that's the one that catches the most. And then, yeah, and here's the final painting. I really like the way it turned out. I mean, I see some things I could fix, like the jawline's not perfect or anything. But yeah, make sure you hit like and subscribe. And if you want to, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Hales Art here. Or if you want a little more of my personal Instagram, it's at prismatically H. Thank you for watching.